Okay. Okay. So, what did we see? Where the hell did I put my gun? Jay, what did we see?
It's a glorious movie. It had no shame. It's just non-stop amazing.
We saw Army of Darkness. Give me a fist bump, man. That movie is fist bump worthy. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, neither of us have actually seen this movie to completion before. I've seen like halfway through. Apparently I should have stuck with it because right when I stopped watching was right before Skeleton Army.
They don't have lungs.
And
They don't cough when they're done up.
No, and they don't play bagpipes either. So, this is the third of the Evil Dead movies. The first one we watched a bit of. I've seen it. I've seen all of them at this point now. Evil Dead 2. What's crazy about it is Evil Dead 1 is basically a horror movie. It's the kids go to the cabin in the woods. They get assaulted by demons. It's a really trippy and surprisingly gruesome horror movie, but it's a horror movie. Number 2 straddles this weird line between being legitimately horror and funny as hell. Like, it does both. Somehow. This one just says, screw it, we're going for action comedy.
And goddamn, do they get it right.
So, Bruce Campbell, the god.
The original king.
Oh, man. Hang on, I'm gonna check something. Just tell him how it gets started, man.
I don't even know where to begin. This movie is just awesome. Okay, they basically give out a short summary of the previous 2 movies, and then he segues into how he actually ended up in, what was it, 14th century?
Knights in Armor. So, a little earlier than 14th century, but yeah. Around
Knights in Armor, blah, blah, blah. He gets trapped in the past because demon portals.
Demon portals are convenient.
Yes, they are. And in order to get back home, he has to find the Necronomicon.
Ex Mortis.
That thing.
The book bound in human flesh and written in human blood. Really.
Because reasons and cliches, but fuck it.
But no, first he gets captured. He gets captured by the Knights of Arthur. I don't know if he's King Arthur, but it's Arthur. Or as I like to call him, Unibrow.
You had to point that out too. I hate you so much.
He's got a unibrow, and it's distracting as hell once you see it.
He pointed out, like, every time he shows back up on screen, I was like, oh my god, he has a unibrow.
So he gets transported back, and him and his car.
And the chainsaw that used to be his hand.
Yes, because he had to cut his hand off. Because he got infected with deadite.
And somehow managed to, with one hand, attach a chainsaw to his stump.
That was a little bit better explained in Evil Dead 2, but they kind of skimped over that in this version. And in this version,
I still have no idea how someone would go about doing that.
Yeah.
Chainsaws are heavy.
In the second movie, someone helps him build it.
There was only 2 people left.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of made some changes to the flashback. Evil Dead 2, he wasn't the only person. But, in this movie, I'm totally okay with there being no explanation for how he got a chainsaw hand. Because that's exactly the tone of this movie. He has a shotgun that it's a double barrel, and he will routinely fire more than 2 times and never reload until it looks cool for him to reload it. And he never runs out of ammo for some reason, even though he came back with a finite amount.
Just a quick heads up, not a damn thing in this movie makes sense, so...
And you don't even care. You don't give a shit. He gets captured by the Knights because they think he's working for some guy.
Henry the Red.
Henry the Red. And he gets thrown into a pit with a possessed lady and a couple other monster things. He beats the hell out of him, too. With his chainsaw arm.
He crawls back out and is like, who else wants some?
You want some of this? You want some of this?
Didn't think so.
This is my boomstick! There were are so many classic action movie quotes in this movie. Like, Duke Nukem ripped this movie off so hard. The guys who made Duke Nukem 3D Realms must have been big fans of this movie. Hail to the king, baby.
Well, the Duke Nukem games did come out shortly in
Yeah, they were like
the late
97.
90s.
Yeah, 97, 98.
So it's probably around the time this movie actually started getting really big.
Yeah. Well, around the time, let's say this came out in 92 or 94, and considering how long it takes to make a video game, they would have had to have seen it by 95, 96. So yeah, that's about right. Timeline fits. So
the demons are easily
I
love Bruce Campbell, but the demons are easily the best part of this movie.
yeah,
Even though their ultimate goal is to just kill all humans,
and they're evil, and they're such horrible people.
they're just trolls. Like, their ultimate goal is to just kill everybody, but damn it, they want to f with you as much as possible before they do it.
Yeah, and
They do nothing but mess with your head, and it is so amazing.
And the only reason Bruce Campbell didn't get killed is because he's got a shotgun and a chainsaw, which, even though the demons are really tough, does put them down. Couple shotgun
sheer
shots.
force of a shotgun.
Yeah,
and,
couple shotgun shots, they're down, then he slices them up with the chainsaw, and even though they're not dead, when your body parts are not connected anymore, you're not any good.
Then there was
Useless.
the graveyard scene with all the skeleton heads. As you said, the prop guys were having a fucking blast with that
A
part.
whole bunch of really plastic-looking skeleton heads shoot out of the ground and grab him, and then they start smacking him in the face, punching him, poking him in the eyes, pulling on the ground. And the prop guys must have been having a ball. Because they're coming in with these little plastic cans from Oscar. Hit him again! Ah! It's action comedy. So funny. So good. And, oh man. It's a good thing it doesn't take itself seriously, because the action oftentimes is full of plot holes, makes no logical sense, but because that's the whole movie, you have to go with it.
It's so damn funny, you don't even care.
No. And he makes himself a new hand using medieval technology, like he enlists the blacksmith and he's like, you primitive primates, here, I'll build myself a new hand. And he does, because I guess it was too much work to pretend he didn't have a hand for the whole movie.
Like, seriously, use just even mechanical workings to use fingers.
Yeah. And
No, that's
and
not
he
how
works
they
at
work.
Kmart, or S-Mart. He works at S-Mart. I don't care if he's a college student, and Bruce Campbell was looking a little old to be playing a college student in this movie. I mean, I think it was in his early 40s in this movie, and at youngest he looked early 30s.
Don't care.
Yeah, no. Bruce Campbell is glorious.
You're not gonna get two shoes. You're good at two shoes. Good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Yeah, they're...
So many
The effects are dated, but at the same time, most of the time you don't care. It's really, really weak digital effects. Most of it's composite
Comparing
shots.
them to today, it's more painfully obvious than Wolverine's claws in X-Men Origins, but you just don't care. It's so glorious.
Yeah, no. The reason the Skeleton Army is my favorite is because they're clearly puppets. They are so obviously puppets that someone's pulling strings on, making their heads move and their jaws go up and down. And every time you see them moving and waving their arms, you never see below the screen. So you know that there's some guy down there holding them like this. But
Retreat!
run away! But the way they move is just so funny. It's like the Muppet Show. It's really like the Muppet Show when the Muppets spaz out.
I hate the Muppets.
But it's the same kind of hilarious, frantic movement that's all jerky and hilariously not lifelike. It's great. And every now and then they'll do the Jason and the Argonauts full standing skeleton battle thing. You haven't seen Jason and the Argonauts?
No, but I know the name.
Yeah, it's a movie where people fought claymation skeletons back in the 70s, or maybe even the 60s. It's an old movie, and they were doing claymation skeleton fighting, and it was really groundbreaking at the time. Nowadays, it's just well remembered because the skeletons were so fascinating to watch move. Same kind of thing. The demons are... Oh, they possess his girlfriend, who thought...
Again.
Again.
Because
Yeah.
they're dicks.
In literally every Evil Dead movie, his girlfriend gets possessed.
Because they're dicks.
Every single one. Evil Dead 1, his girlfriend gets possessed, he has to kill her. 2, he has to kill her because they kind of did a reworking of Evil Dead 1 for Evil Dead 2. Actually, you know what? That's something they do in every movie. Evil Dead 2, they do a 5-minute flashback of Evil Dead 1, and they completely rewrite the story if you've actually seen Evil Dead 1. Army of Darkness, they do a 5-minute flashback of Evil Dead 2, but they completely rewrite it if you've actually seen it. Which is so weird. It's like, you know what? I think the last movie makes a lot more sense if we cut out all those extraneous characters.
I'm going to go ahead and compare these movies to the Soul Calibur character Tira, who, after giving herself a blow to the head, switches between her violent personality and the cheery violent personality.
So,
with Evil Dead 1...
So Harley Quinn and something more violent than Harley Quinn. No?
Not necessarily. Tira is actually insane with dual personalities. Originally appearing first in Soul Calibur 3 with only a single personality, come Soul Calibur 4, there's a command where she'll like slam her head against her own weapon and switch between her personalities. One's gloomy and really unfriendly. The other's like super childish but still just as violent. So it's like Harley Quinn and then another Harley Quinn that just never smiles or laughs. It's just killing.
That defeats the purpose of Harley Quinn, though.
Yeah.
The great scene in
between the three movies, that's pretty much what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
But then again, I've been in the Soul Calibur spree.
The windmill scene with the little hymns.
Just so gloriously stupid.
It's again, the demons are just screwing with him. He breaks a mirror because he thought it was someone in the room with him, which was kind of dumb. But,
in his defense, he was being chased by something from
just
a few minutes prior.
He was a little paranoid at that point. And, little hymns crawl out of the reflections of the broken shards of glass. And they're like yay big, and there's like 9 of them, and they all attack him at once.
They jam some kind of fork into his ass. He's chasing him, trying to step on one of them.
London Bridge is falling down.
And then one of the little ones falls down as he's about to step on him, holds up a nail, goes into his foot. He starts doing that. Then you have 4 of the other little ones standing on top of each other's shoulders,
going,
"My fair lady."
His face falls on the stove and starts searing to the stove.
And he has to get a spatula and pull himself. His whole face on. And no scar on him after
No,
this
of course
happens.
no scar. We can't scar Bruce Campbell's face. It doesn't
Yeah.
scar. No, it's too powerful.
They say Chuck Norris's beard is too hard. Bruce Campbell's chin is harder.
Yeah. So
It's just so glorious. The entire time, even with the whole castle scene, they're still just fucking around.
oh god.
Not a single serious moment appears in this movie.
Not even when the girlfriend gets kidnapped. Like, okay, there's a scene where the girlfriend gets kidnapped. She gets taken to Evil Ash, who's now all rotted and stuff. And they're like, "Bring the wench to me." And then the skeletons drag a couple more almost naked girls across the frame of the camera, and they're just like, "Who the fuck were they?"
Who the fuck are these two? Furthermore,
where did
they get them?
Where did they come from? Why? The whole movie is just this It's like the kind of movie a 5-year-old would make if you told them to imagine the greatest action scene they could ever think of. And then you took those ideas, gave them to an adult who just did all of them, but made a coherent story out of it. Because no 5-year-old can think of a coherent story, but they can think of really awesome moments. And then it's the job of Sam Raimi to, stitch them. Yeah, Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi and his brother wrote and directed this. The guys behind the Spider-Man movies. I feel like Bruce Campbell was in the Spider-Man movies movies somewhere.
He was in the first one. He was the announcer for the wrestling match.
Oh yeah. I remember that now. It's been so long since I saw the first Spider-Man movie.
And that was an actual wrestler Spider-Man was fighting in that scene.
Yeah.
I believe that was...
Yeah, that whole wrestling scene was actually...
Who was that? I want to say that was...
Bonesaw.
Macho Man Randy Savage. I don't remember. I think that was him.
Maybe. It sounds like it could. He was in really good shape then. That was that whole wrestling scene was really good. Like in the first movie.
You know, quite honestly, it was probably the best part about all three of those movies.
No, the best part was definitely in the second movie where they're fighting on the train. Come on, Dr. Octopus is so awesome with the four-claw thing. He's not a fan of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
I'm really not.
Well, I don't know how you can like the new ones.
I mean, really, the first one was the only one I liked, just because I really love Willem Dafoe, because he's just like a perfect person.
William Dafoe was hamming the hell out of that movie.
I mean, he's just like the perfect person. If you need a guy who just instantly portrays villainous look, Willem Dafoe.
We killed them.
You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, William
You
Dafoe
can't.
William Dafoe definitely made that first movie really friggin' memorable.
And I mean, the third one was just.
I didn't see the third one, and I'm gonna leave it that way. Like, I'm just gonna keep it that way.
I made it farther into the first Twilight movie than I did the third Spider-Man movie.
You know, I'm actually thinking of seeing the last Twilight movie because apparently the last Twilight movie, like the last 30 minutes, is fucking hilarious.
Unless they all die, I don't care.
Yes.
I mean, everyone dies.
Okay, not all of them die, but like a whole bunch of big name characters get killed off, including the whatever character Dakota Fanning played. You don't know who Dakota Fanning is?
I feel like I should, but I find myself in such lack of caring that I don't really.
Fair enough. She was a really good child star, like really good actress for a child star, and she's transitioned fairly smoothly to being an adult in comparison to other child stars. Let's make that
Whatever happened to the guy from Home Alone?
What actually happened?
Those were good movies,
You
damn
know,
it.
what actually happened was his parents ripped him off. Like, they basically confiscated all the money that he made from those movies
Huh.
for themselves.
I would have sued the hell out of him.
Hard to do that when they're your legal guardians and have control of your finances until you're 18.
I would have sued the hell out of him.
Yeah, well, I believe there was a law passed because of what his parents did. So anyway, Army of Darkness is... We could go on and on. We could gush forever about this movie. But
Because it was that awesome!
it's really good. Just see it. You don't even have to see the other Evil Dead movies. They literally just sum it up.
In like 3-5 minutes. And
Yeah.
even then, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
just so glorious
Evil
from the
Dead.
start.
Evil Dead is sort of a horror movie. Is a movie for the horror connoisseur. I would not see Evil Dead the first one unless you're really into horror movies. Cat's got their hands on a golf ball. Evil Dead 2 is a much easier recommendation for even.
Joan Rivers finally died.
Oh, really?
Bummer.
Evil Dead 2 is a much easier recommendation for casual horror fans or people who kind of like dark comedies. But Army of Darkness, just see it with a friend. Like, I feel like this movie's a little hard to watch by yourself. It would be a little
I
hard.
can see how it would be hard to
It's
watch.
a little hard to watch by yourself because the stupid things never stop. But they're so much fun if you see them with
For someone like me who just loves comedy to begin
Yeah.
with, I could watch it by myself, but it's just so gloriously better to have someone to watch it with.
Yeah, and you can both be at, oh my god, how did they...
Never stop.
It's not a so bad it's good experience, it's just sort of a communal kind of experience. It works better with friends. So, go see Army of Darkness. Don't go see Let's Be Cops.
Yeah, because we're still on about
Yeah,
that.
we are still pissed about that. Thanks for joining us on the couch.